In this graphics design lesson, I'll show you how to add some bling bling to your Christmas gift bow by applying some decorative gold trim to the ribbon and adding some shiny bling to that. So you can go from ordinary to extraordinary. First, we'll take the bow that we left off with in the last lesson. So I'll just move it off to the side, press Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and put the new copy over here. And actually, before I even start messing with it, I'm going to put a rectangle background behind it. Something like that. That way it looks more like a forest green or a Christmas green as opposed to a neon green. Now I'll highlight that and hold Ctrl, Shift, and press down arrow key. I'm going to highlight my bow and press Ctrl, Shift, G to ungroup it all. For this top object has 5 shapes, so Ctrl, Shift, G to ungroup those as well. And I want to delete this one, Ctrl X, and this, Ctrl X. And I also want to delete this, Ctrl X, because when we add the trim, we're just going to do it on these two sides, and then we can just copy it and flip it. That way we can save ourselves a little bit of work. Now let's select this piece of ribbon and zoom in on it by holding Control and mouse wheeling. You zoom in on it just a little bit to get it a little closer, that way you can see the contour better. So we're going to grab our pen tool now. You don't have to have anything selected. We'll grab the pen tool. I'm going to start right about here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and follow the contour. So I'll click down, I'll let go. So if I zoom out a little, I can see the contour a little bit better. Click down, hold, and drag until you get the contour about matched up. And then you can complete your shape by going down to the bottom here, right to the very edge. Click down, hold, and drag, and curve that one till the contour meets up a little bit with that last taper. Something like that. Now you can just press Ctrl D to deselect everything. Now just hit your regular pointer tool, highlight this, the new line that you just made, press Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and move it over just a few taps with your arrow keys. Now with one of those selected, I'll hit my pen tool, and let's go up to the top. I'll click down right here, and then I'm going to click right here on this point. You see how it connected it? And then at the bottom, all I have to do is click down right here, and then click right here, and I'll make a shape. And I can give that shape a yellow or gold fill. I'll give mine a nice gold color, like, let's see, something like, that looks good to me. Okay. And take that white edge off. Now with the little bit that's coming down here, that's easy to chop off. All you have to do is grab your pen tool and draw a shape that's going to cut that line right where you want it. Say right about there. Then just make the shape, go all the way around, and then highlight those two items, modify, combine paths, and punch. Now let's zoom in on it a little bit, and what we'll do is maybe we'll darken it up just a little bit, make it a little bit darker, and then we'll go and give it grain texture. You can give it any kind of texture that you want through here, but I'm going to give it grain 100%. That way it looks like flecked gold. Actually, you can go and make that color part of your custom colors. So add to custom colors if you want to save that gold color. Okay. Alright, so I'll show you how to do one more of these, and then you can do the rest on your own, following all the curves appropriately to add trim where needed. So I'll just select this item here and zoom in by holding Control and mouse wheeling in like that. Then I'll select this item. That way I have the yellow in my fill. And then I'll deselect everything, Control D, and then I'll hit my pen tool, and you see I have the yellow fill. Alright, now I'm going to start right here, and I'll do the outside edge of the trim. Click down, let go, and then you go somewhere around the top area where it starts to curve down, right about there. Click down, hold, and drag until your line meets the contour and then tapers off towards the edge. Then you can let go, then you're going to click down right here, then you're going to go down just a little bit further, maybe right about there, click down and let go, and then you want to go right about here with your mouse, click down, hold, and drag until your contour kind of matches up with the other one. Then you can click down here, let go, click down there, and then your shape will give itself that yellow fill, and you'll already have the texture grain of 100% on there. And you can just take this piece, highlight this piece, and Control Shift up arrow key to bring it back to front. And then you can zoom out and see what you have. So all you have to do is make one now going right here, matching this contour, and then one going down right here, matching this contour. Now once you have all of those in place, you can just take the one that you put there, press Ctrl C, Ctrl V, make a copy of that, place it on the other side. Now let's highlight these 5 objects, or these 4 objects rather. 1, 2, 3, 4 by holding Shift as we select them. Press Ctrl G, and now that is a group. Now what I'm going to do is go to Filters, Shadow and Glow, and give it an inner shadow coming from the left, so it'll be 0. So you really want that to be on 0, so you can just set that to 0, hit enter, and we'll bring that inner shadow in. We'll fade it in a little bit. Now let's set the distance a little higher, maybe not so high, right about there. Now I'll make sure I still have that item selected, press Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and then go to my scale tool, and I'm going to scale down just a little bit from the corner here and a little bit this way, and then I'll grab that one and make sure it's still within this piece. It looks like it's within this piece good. And I'm also going to turn it a little bit. Let's go ahead and turn it, rotate it just a tad bit, something like that, and then just make sure it looks like it fits back in here well. So bring it down right about there. And if you want to adjust any of these pieces, say for instance you want to hit the sub selection tool and grab just this piece and this piece by holding select, you can adjust their colors. So if I wanted to make them darker, for instance, on the bottom there, I could just make this color a little bit darker, like that. But they'll still be in groups when you hit them with the regular pointer tool. You'll see it's still a group, and you can't adjust it that way. But if you hit the sub selection tool, you can adjust anything within any group. Now if you want for added effect, you can take this one, highlight the little one, the little loop that you have on top now, and go to drop shadow, and make the drop shadow go in the direction on top of the other loop that's behind it. You can drop it way down in there like that. Bring the opacity down, so something like that, and it'll give you just a little bit more depth and shadows on everything. Okay, that's pretty much it besides the bling. So we'll highlight this and the one behind it, and actually let's go ahead and group these first. Highlight this trim, and then the ribbon piece. So you'll have 3 objects selected. Press Ctrl G. Now you'll have this thing grouped. So let's highlight that, this piece, and this piece. So you have 3 pieces. Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and flip them horizontally. Then just use your arrow key to bring them over to the other side where they need to live. Okay, now let's group some stuff. So let's grab, while holding Shift, I'm going to select this one, this centerpiece, its trim on both sides, and this one and this one. So I have 7 objects there that I'm going to Ctrl G and put them into a group. So you see, they're all one group now. And I'm going to go ahead and take the, let's go into these and ungroup them. Ctrl Shift G, and this one too, Ctrl Shift G, because I want to take the shadow, drop shadow off of these 2 items. There. Now I can group these independently again. Ctrl G, Ctrl G. Now what I'll do is just highlight all 3 of these things and give them the same drop shadow and make it go 270, so it's going down to the bottom. Or really you can drop the shadow any direction you want. See, now you have a nice shadow underneath your 2 little ribbon tails, where they lay underneath this centerpiece. You have a little shadow under there, and that helps the effect. Now all we need is the bling bling. So let's go into our tools, and we'll grab a, where is that? Shape tools, star. Draw your star out, and just make your star have 4 points right there. And then bring, here, I'll make it a solid black so you can see it real well. I'll take all the grain down, and then what I'll do is grab this radius and bring it in to where it's like something like that. Then the solid fill, I'm going to make a gradient radial, and on the edge where it's black, make sure both edges are white, and that one, make sure the opacity's all the way down. So once you have that, you can press Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and then go to your scale tool, and then rotate this by holding Shift to rotate it at perfect 45 degrees, and then scale that one down So now you have two stars, one on top of the other right there. Now I'll highlight those two together, and I'll just go to modify and flatten it right now. I can bring it off to the side over here if I want. Press Control C, Control V, make a copy, and then bring it over here and scale it down. And what I'll do is I'll try to put it on a place on the item where it looks like there should be shine. For instance, maybe right here or right here. Yeah, that'll be a good spot. So I'll put it right there, and then I'm going to scale it down. Make sure I put it right there. Now just take that little guy and pepper him everywhere. You can change his size, you can rotate him, whatever, and you put him all over this thing where it looks like there should be little glint effects or glittery effects from where the speckled gold trim would be shining. Okay, there it is with all the little stars placed around on it to make it look like it has some bling bling. Now this is the ordinary one that we did in the first tutorial, and this is the one that we made extraordinary. I hope you've enjoyed this Christmas design exercise, and I'll talk to you guys in the next lesson.